your tips. Everest preview time. Daggy with you, along with the Beaver as usual. How are you, mate?
Very good, thanks, Daggy. Good to see you again and good to be here in person.
Absolutely. It's been a minute again since we've done this, so looking forward to it. We've got, we're going to look at the Everest runner by runner for now, for us, I guess. Show us your tips. And we've reeled in Johnny, Sydney specialist largely, are you?
Yeah, predominantly Sydney.
Beautiful. And what have you made of, very quickly, so this one, if it's your first time here, check us out. You can, we do free tips each and every week, Sydney and Melbourne and the occasional carnival as we head around Australia. We've got, as I said, the full one coming up. What do you make of this Everest field though, Beaver?
Yeah, interesting field.
It got better the more time I spent on it, I think.
Yeah, I think the more I went through the form, I was pretty impressed with it. Really good mix of different aged horses and a bit of mixture of form going around at the moment. But brought the best sprinters that we do have together, and be interesting what the boys think of it.
What do you make of the field? First impressions?
Yeah, not the strongest, but I think it's probably the most interesting that we've had in the last couple of years.
Get your mic a bit closer there. Yeah. Thank you. There you go.
Better. Yeah, look, usually there's probably one or two that you're looking to build a race around. One of them can't run anymore in Giga Kick, and one of them's not here. So it's a very open field. I think the market reflects that, but I think it's going to be a crack of a race.
And just very quickly, the fact it's now got Group 1 status, your thoughts, Beaver? You don't care?
Oh, look, neither here nor there. I guess it should be Group 1 given the money that it's worth, and it generally attracts the best horses that we've got, so it makes sense that it's a Group 1 race. There's plenty of worse group races than this.
Yeah, we'll get to one later.
I think the Coolmore's in a bit of trouble. If the breeders
this is now Group 1.
Yeah. I think being so close to the Coolmore, it might cannibalise that down the road, which is rather interesting why Growing Empire, I think, is here. But, yeah, once the breeders get a hold of this race, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years. But for now, look, I don't care. There's 12 horses running and I'll bet on them.
I don't necessarily like the idea of a Group 1 being a slot race. I think it's open to a little bit of ducks and drakes. I think if it's going to be, there needs to either be a sort of winning your in option, maybe, or an extra slot or two where you can have races that get you in. Yeah.
Fair shout.
But anyway, that was my first blush. Did we see the barrier draw? That's the next question I had.
Yeah.
The actual draw itself.
Did I see it?
Yeah.
No.
Johnny?
I was watching from the first minute. I loved it.
Haven't you seen it?
No.
Oh, it was a whole
it's the
circus.
best TV ever.
It was literally a whole
Come on, I'll have
circus.
to go back and
Blokes
watch it.
shooting out of cannons and the Wheel of Death and all sorts of shit.
Everyone gave it to PVL saying it's a circus, and he goes, well, fuck it, here's a circus.
It was
and just
literally
said,
a
here you go,
circus.
no problem.
I like the fact that if you ever thought racing was a thing for the elites, it removed any doubt. It was just a wank fest. But anyway,
hopefully the bartender didn't get offended and report him or something.
No, it was something else. But yeah, it's worth going out of your way to see for 5 minutes there. Anyway, let's talk about the race itself. So a bit warm in here, isn't it, Beaver? You right in the jumper?
No, I'm good, mate.
Okay. We are looking at some rain on Friday. We're filming this Thursday evening. Some rain around tomorrow. I've treated it as it's about 5 mil. I've treated it as a soft 5-ish sort of track. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it probably sticks to around that, even if we have a little bit of rain.
I think we'll run it good.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Randwick's copped a lot of rain recently, and halfway through the cut is a good fall when they're advertising a soft 6. So I've prepared for a good fall.
Awesome. And what I do like about when there is rain during the week, the hoses stay away, so minimal bias. I'm hoping by the time we get this stage of the day around, we probably want to be off the fence, but
100%.
We'll see how that goes. The runners themselves, we kick off. The first one for Trackside Media is I Wish I Win for Peter Moody and what's her name?
Coleman.
Kat Coleman. I was going to say that. Kat Coleman. Luke Nolan is the jock. It's drawn barrier 9, two-time Group 1 winner. Won the TJ Smith here, track and distance, as well as the Kingswood Smith Cup over the Winter Carnival, as well as the Golden Eagle at Rose Hill. What have you made of the preparation so far? I'll let our guest go first.
I've been a little bit underwhelmed by him. I know, I think the prices you've probably taken the Coleman and Moody camp at their word, saying they're setting him up for this race. I definitely think Randwick's a better track for him compared to Valley, but I think especially in the Manikato, I would have liked to see him hit the line a little bit better. He kind of tracked into it, and it looked like he was going to hit the line very strongly, but just kind of pulled up. Whether that was a second up flat run or he's just not going as good, I don't see how you can take $6. But at his best, I think he's the class runner of the field for sure. I definitely don't think he's gone. I think the talent's still there. It's just whether he rocks up on the day.
Yeah, I think that's a good summation from Johnny. I do like the horse. I do think it is cherry ripe here to put its best foot forward. If that's as good as what we've seen in the past, time will tell. But third up here is nice. I think those runs have been pretty good. Probably just a little bit of edge. You're right, last start, but I think it's drawn perfectly. The Randwick track suits. There'll be enough pace here, and I think you'll find it finishes in the first few.
Yeah, I think going to your point as well of, I don't think he has to be at his best.
Yes.
So I think in the last couple of Everests, he probably did have to be at his best, and you saw he just missed out last time to think about it. But I definitely don't think he has to be cherry ripe to win this. He just definitely doesn't have to match what he's previously done.
Yeah, and I think favourite's probably fair. To be honest, when you look at the field, as you said earlier, it's probably a fair summation around a $5.56 favourite.
I started this, didn't think I wanted to do with it, and by the end of it, I just said 2 trips around the Valley to 1,000 don't count.
Yeah.
Third up here, this is the goal. I think it is game on. Admittedly, nothing's come out of the Manicato or the Moyenne one since.
Yeah,
so that's a concern.
If you're looking at Coleman as a barometer, he was very, very plain last week, even with some excuses.
And there's been a few others in between as well. Mornington Glory, et cetera, they've gone elsewhere. 1,000-metre land doesn't count. I've just treated it that way here, and we'll get to that a bit later as well, with some of the others coming through that form. The Giga Kick is the second horse here for GSA Bloodstock. It's drawn gate 3. J-Mac jumped ship pretty quick. It has won a Doom 10,000 and all-age stakes. 2 hot trials, 2 flat runs, essentially, is what this prep's been. Is there any interest?
Not from me. It just hasn't done enough for me for a long time yet to get excited about it. And none of the runs of recent times have suggested it's anywhere near the form it needs to be, and middle of the pack runner at the moment.
I set out another one. I said to Ben, it sucked me in slightly last 200 last start, but it was almost like 1,400 metre next start. I might be interested, but no real interest here. Maybe the all-age stake in a couple of weeks, which traditionally falls off. But in short, not a lot for me.
I don't think you can get interested until you see it do something better again.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think he's completely gone.
And by the way, you've spent spring on track, haven't you? So if anyone you think has got natural improvement, let us know. And anyone you might be peaking.
I definitely don't think Giga Kick is there. Seeing him first up, he was just a pink button job straight away. Just a massive barrel, didn't look fit at all. But he was first up, so I was happy to forgive that one, looking at him second up. And I was really keen to look at him, and he did not look any better at all. And that's a sprinter coming off, like you said, 2 trials, 2 races. So he should have shown some improvement by then and just didn't. So whether he needs a new trainer, a different regime, something, I think he's very lucky to have Mark Zara on board. I don't think he's going well. I think 14s may as well be 40s at this stage. He's going backwards.
Third horse is Private Eye for Whitby, Madden, where it's drawn barrier 10, which is a concern here. Joe Pride, jockey is Jay Ford. It's won the Epsom here and the Canterbury Stakes, both over further, but has placed in the last 2 Everests. Gate 10 leaves me... I think the horse is actually going pretty well. It's copped 2 pretty ordinary... Let's say situations haven't helped the rides. I think the horse is going well, and I think it's the overs in the race. But intent from the gates can decide that very early. Any interest for you?
Like you said, I think he's a knockout chance. In terms of intent, they did come out and say there's an intention to be ridden more forward. So all of a sudden, a race that kind of looked like it was going to be quite slow and lacking some pace, all of a sudden probably has half the field trying to go forward. So, whether Jay Ford's the jockey to do that, I can see him easily try and jump and then just go, I'm not going to cross these very fast horses and kind of pull. Whether that creates a 3-wide line might make it tricky for him. It could be a blessing, actually, like given how the track might be playing. That 3-wide running line at Randwick's been really good all spring. So, 27s, I think he's a great knockout chance, absolutely, especially when he's had some excuses, like you said.
Yeah, just a knockout chance for me. I'm not overly keen. Certainly wouldn't be getting my money. I just... runs have been there or thereabouts this prep. Again, I just think there's better chances, and it's going to have to pull. It's going to have to be better than what it's shown this time in, and probably better than the last few runs. So again, not totally ruling it out, but won't be getting my money.
Sorry, this is the first time I've actually seen the official map. I've manufactured my own, but I suppose it's not far off where these 2 change. But Racing New South Wales have it mapped 3 wide.
On a limb.
No
on
cover.
a limb. Yeah.
Dead in the water in that case.
So I can't imagine that being the case. But anyway, we'll see how that pans out.
Yep.
Fourth horse, Bella Nipotina, the TAB runner. It's drawn barrier 12. Craig Williams, Kieran Maher, won a Tatatara, won a Dooma 10,000, has won a Manikato, one of the most honest mares in Australia. I don't think anyone can knock that. You can make argues, and I'm sure you will, that it almost should be unbeaten this prep in Sydney. What are you saying from gate 12? Craig Williams, again, intent's going to be an interesting thing.
Would have loved a slightly better gate than gate 12, but that's probably why it's around about the $10 mark. I think if Bella Nipotina draws 5, 6, 7, it's probably 2 or 3 points shorter in the market, maybe even pushing for favourite. It's a genuine chance. It's flying at the moment. Should have won last start, other than I think it was totally butchered last start. I think it should have won, and I think it should have won comfortably. It's probably one of these horses that you can be fairly confident that it will run a good race and it will be in the finish. And that's why I've got it near the top of my picks because of that. Last prep was fantastic. It's shown here that it's back and going well. Definite chance, and a lot will depend on where it gets in running and a little bit of luck there.
Yeah, I think Map's probably the main concern. Look, seeing her first up, it looked like this was a target race, which I think is always a very positive sign when they're targeting towards a grand final. But seeing her next start, I would have liked to see her come a little bit more. And even though, like you said, she probably should have won that race, definitely should have won that race, I didn't think that was the strongest, and I thought if she was good enough, she'd still beat that lot. It might be a convenient excuse to say, well, Eamon's won that, and I've just put a pen through that race. But look, she gets a lot more pace here, and she might just find the back of something. My problem is that she's going to be giving a lot of turn of foot horses that one or two length start.
Yeah, 100%.
And she has to come over them as well. So, but like I said, $9, probably fair given the setup, but she's so honest and she's so quality that definitely I could see her just running over the top of them for sure.
And Any Rain is probably completely up her alley more than anyone else in this race, I reckon, apart from I Wish I Win maybe.
100%.
Yeah, that was another
If
thing.
we do get worse side of 6.
So they're probably going to be the two last runners at the bend, and it's probably going to be a drying deck by then. So that was just one more thing that I kind of had against them, but can't doubt their quality, that's for sure.
Number 5 is the Star and Arrowfield runner. I Am Me for Kieran Maher, Nashua Willow, strong gate 1. Hasn't won a Group 1, but placed in a Manikato, Rupert Clark. William Reid, both lead-up runs are in gate 1. And the more I went on with this race, the more I just thought it's perfect again, gate 1 for Nash. Probably the best gate 1 jockey at his best in Australia. In the conversation with Bishin, maybe. But if everything falls its way and the inside isn't off, and we'll know by now, it only has to go past one horse, really, even luck, and it's done it twice. The other thing was I thought, okay, it's done it 1,000, done it 1,100. Now it's unbeaten track and trip as well. Mm-hmm. So I think this is a live chance, pending track conditions. Could be in Shitsville. Could also be one of those ones where everyone tries to fan and Nash just goes like he did in Switzerland last week.
Yep.
Straight up, 3 pairs off the fence and has the run anyway. But I think this is a live chance. I think this is probably an underrated horse, given it's won both the lead-ups. Step up in grade again. And when you really sit back and go, can I me win an Everest? It's hard to say absolutely or anything like that. What do you think? Yeah,
I'm kind of like you. I think when you look at the horse as a profile, you probably don't think Everest winner. But then you look at the setup and you think, well, there's going to be a lot of pressure in this race, and Nash just might sneak up underneath them. The counter to that is he might have a lot of dead wood in front of him and have Stormboy and Lady Camelot falling back in his lap. So, but if they are fanning wide and he's got the barrier 1, if there's a lot of pressure, I'd rather be coming under him than around him. So, I think probably that makes $15 a fair price. I'm not on it, but I can definitely see why people would, especially with that setup.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that as well. Look, it's drawn the perfect gate for the style of horse it is. I think if it was drawn a little bit wider, middle out, you'd put a pen straight through it. So you're basically backing it off the case that it is going to get that sit. It's going to get the split at the right time. It's going to need all the luck at 1,200 with these horses to win. But I could get it from gate 1, right?
Yeah.
So
and you know me, I hate gate 1 most of the time. But
yeah, look, well, I
love it. I really love it.
I'm a big fan of gate 1.
Yeah,
it's the
I know.
shortest way home.
Yeah, I know. We can't all be right all the time.
No, that's right. So I think that does suit here. But again, you've made a good point. It's got to be able to get the run through if anything is stopping and the pressure's on. And a lot will depend at what time the pressure goes on. If horses start to go past it, there's no way it can win.
Yep.
Horse 6, Steffi Magnetica for Newgate and GPI Racing. It's in gate 6. Bjorn and Zach Lloyd won the Stradbroke in the winter and is now second up off its Queensland campaign. Beaver, she's been one of yours all the way through?
Yep.
Is she one of yours here?
Well, I think it's another horse that's flying at the moment. And we'll be thereabouts. If there's any chinks in the armour, this style of field, it's quite an even base field. I'd want to be backing it before I'd back Giga Kick, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it's even a better. I'd back it before I backed I Am Me. To be honest, I think gate 6 perfect. Zachy Lloyd can track into this, and it just depends if it's got the turn of foot of some of the others. But look, there's no reason it can't win. It'll need the right pace on and the right split at the right time. But a definite live chance, and $14, you wouldn't. I think you get a sight for your money.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's a very interesting runner. She's definitely the one that probably has to make the biggest leap, I think.
Yes, correct.
But when you look at her Stradbroke win, she did beat Bella Nipotina, even though there was a bit of a weight advantage. So if you're pricing Bella at 9s, probably Steffi at 14s is kind of fair based off that.
Yep.
But like you said, she's been given the dream setup here. She's going to get the ultimate suck run. She's got Zach, who really gets along with the horse. Really no excuses. The only thing is I didn't really like her trial. I thought
Was ridden outside, wasn't she?
She was ridden out, and I thought she kind of didn't find the line. With stuff like that, you kind of don't really know what the trainers put them through, though. So you kind of need to have a good handle of what they're doing in the back end.
Bjorn's not really been with us for a bit.
Yeah, exactly right. So there's a few things against her, but again, like I Am Me, you look at the setup, you couldn't ask for more. If you did like Steffi, I wouldn't talk you against her.
I assume Beaver's going to end up close to finding her when we get there. What do we got next? Number 7, Sunshine in Paris for Fairway Thoroughbreds. Drawn gate 6 here. What gate's she drawn?
In 8.
8, sorry. Gate 8 for Tommy Berry and Neesham and Archibald. Beaver, are you excited about this one?
Yeah, definite chance. Probably not going to be as excited as what Johnny is, or even maybe you are. Yeah. Again, I kind of put it in a similar basket to a Steffi Magnetica. I know Johnny sort of questioned the Airman form, and you know, it did only run down Mumbai News last start. So that's.
But it had the tearaway leader, who was the leader in that.
Which set it up for it, right?
Yeah.
And so the win first up was dead set up for Sunshine in Paris, because what else was in it that ran like a busted? Jolly Star ran like a busted.
Yep.
And it had the tearaway leader. There won't be a tearaway leader here. Look, second up, it's not a favourite of mine, second up, horses running second up. So I tend to be a little bit worried about that. But genuine chance around the $10 mark. Yeah, I'll leave it to you guys, because I know you guys are a bit more excited than me.
I'll pass Johnny second. I thought it really found it. I thought the pace on in the Scirocco exposed Jolly Star and sort of flattered Sunshine in Paris. It basically allowed me to get rid of both of them. I think the other thing is, even though it's not, I thought it was Zusa, dry track. I think it wants dry.
Yeah.
Anything otherwise, you're in trouble. But when you talk about Steffi's trial, this tick-over trial is brilliant. This is what you want from a tick-over trial heading to a grand final. If it's dry, I think it's a chance, and I think it's going to be backed. I think it'll have lots of fans. I'm sort of getting rid of this bracket just here, but you may take the floor. Yeah, look,
I understand everything you guys said, but I'm very much in her camp. I've got the sports bet up here, and I've got it black booked from her second ever career start. So I've been on it from the start, but I think this prep is where I think she's going to take that next leap. Her run first up, I was keen to back her, but just looking at her, and Annabelle's come out ever since and said she wasn't there to make a statement. I'm not a big ratings person, but she, according to some good judges, she was running about that 103 and a half. To be doing that, and she was absolutely not ready to be putting up a figure first up. I think I'm taking that as a massive boost. Yeah, she didn't really beat much, but she did beat it well. I thought she had every excuse to run a nice second or third. But to run down Mumbai Muse there on that day, I thought that was a big effort. Like you said, Jolly Star got caught a bit flat-footed, and she's $6. I do think Jolly Star had a bit of an excuse that Waller second up run flat into a third up run in the prep. I'm happy to figure her there and kind of, but I'm very happy to be with Sunshine in Paris. I think the setup's great. I think there's a bit more pressure here. I think it's going to be a dry deck, and she's been aimed up for this. So she had the first up run. They didn't go there with the intention of putting up a figure. She's had the grand final in mind of the Everest. She's been kept fresh.
Is that a concern about flatness, or is the trial makes you happy?
Yeah, no, I think she's a fresh horse. I think she goes well fresh. So to have that run, dust out the cobwebs, go to the trials, which I thought was phenomenal. Like Tommy's just trying to hold her and get her some cover, which kind of leads me to another runner later in the day.
And Camelot was in that trial as well.
Camelot was it was like what was billed as the best trial of all time.
Was that the one? Yeah.
So you had Lady Laguna, Private Eye, all of them were there. So it was kind of like you couldn't really hide where you're at, and I thought she was the most impressive one there, outside of Lady Laguna. We'll get to later, but I think if you're going to have a bet now, I think the $10 there is not going to be $10 on the day.
Yep.
Jolly Star is next, number 8, gate 4, Chris Waller Racing slot, trained by Chris Waller, and J-Mac has taken this over Giga Kick. Did win the 1,000 guineas.
That's not a tough call, but right, according to us.
God, he must be so relieved that he didn't commit
Isn't
to
it
Giga
good that you
Kick?
can just get off? Well, I thought he had, but that was J-Mac can do what he wants. Look, she towed what probably looks like an average field in hindsight first up, and I thought the pace showed her up second up. She's unbeaten track and trip. A lot of her form, though, I still don't know if there's much guts to it when you really look back at her form, which is now my concern, and I think she's tied to Sunshine in Paris. And out of the lead-up, I would rather Sunshine in Paris. That's where I ended with her, and I think $6 too short. It's a hole in the market I'm happy to be against. But I've been wrong before, Beaver. What do you think?
Well, last run left me a bit flat with her as well, similar to you. The first up run was outstanding. I know it beat an easy field, but it was like she was running backwards there.
J-Mac loves to look over the shoulder.
Oh, mate, that just
a bit like Powers of April.
After that run, you were just like, I got to get on this for the Everest. This is a serious racehorse, and it still might well be, right? And then we saw last run where they were all over it, and it was. I would have even the pace was on and everything that happened. I thought it deserved to run a bit better race than that. It just didn't look like it was getting out its own way.
To me, the best horse, and this is all right, but to me, the pace should bring the best horses to the fore, I think.
Well, it still should have been able to probably...
To do more than that.
To do more than that.
Yes.
So that left me with a little bit of an empty feeling. And for that reason, I probably can't take the $6. It might come out and just make us all look stupid and go bang, just like it did first up and look
And how many times
superstar.
has Nature Strip been beaten in the lead up?
Yeah.
And then Waller's had it cherry ripe for this race.
But probably at that stage, Nature Strip had shown that it was absolute.
It was the best sprinter in the world,
Best sprinter in the world, or near enough to. We're yet to probably see that against top class companies. So, I'm a little bit flat. I'm going to probably let it slide, and if it shows that it's just class, well, she's all around.
Yeah, exactly the same. The only thing is, like I said with I Wish I Win, I think you're getting the price based on the camp having it right for this. Same with Jolly Star, third up, Waller, J-Mac, that barrier. I think that's what's anchoring the price. I definitely couldn't take 6.
It's 2 points under just because of that, right?
100%, yeah. And I think it is probably a genuine $9, $10 chance. But as you've seen with Chris Waller, especially during the spring, they come out all guns blazing first, they're flat second up, and then they just pounce third up.
Yeah.
And they just seem to find a new level of form. So, look, I'm not going to bet money on that happening, especially in a race like this. Like you said, I thought she got a bit flat-footed in that race. Like you said, Belclair was tearing them up. And in the end, it wasn't really breakneck speed. I think they ended up running like 2 lengths below average or quicker than average in that race.
To the eye things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they just got caught
Yep.
letting that tear away runner, but the gap kind of accentuated how quick it was really going. I don't think it was going that quick. And she just kind of got caught back there. So, yeah, I couldn't entertain it, but I can see why it's going to have fans. But I do think it'll drift. I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
The 9 is Growing Empire. Smart Colt, Zoostar for Yulong, Gate 9. Kieran Ma and Karen McAvoy, it's one of the Group 3 breeders and the McNeil Stakes, was just nabbed on the line in the Manikato. And I'll go first because I want to take the sword to this horse. I reckon, and you're about to tip it, aren't you? But
no, I'm not.
No, just let me when you look at this, you've had 2. It's fine. When you look at it, it had an absolute perfect Moonee Valley run over 1,000 metres and just got nabbed there. And if you look back before that, it beat
perfect run.
It was leaders back across.
It had to sit outside the leader and had to do all the bullocking work to take the field up.
It fenced up. It's fine. It's what you want in a Moonee Valley 1,000 metre race. I thought. You can defend it. It's all right. I'm not wrong yet. And we look back before that, it beat Wonder Boy by a length and it beat some other 3-year-old by a length that we've never heard of again. I just think 1,200 metres.
Yeah, with his dick in its hand.
It did do it with his dick in its hand. We've all done lots of good things with that, but I just don't think a High Octane, who hasn't done anything since, was the other horse it beat. But
First Settler as well.
And First Settler, who ran well enough last week. I think it's missed a trick by not going to the Coolmore. I don't feel like this isn't a horse that's going to win the Everest. But your thoughts?
No, I think it's a genuine chance.
If it gets this map, it's a genuine chance.
Yeah. I think it's versatile. I think it can certainly run well. It's going really well at the moment, and they've had to freshen it up. I was a bit worried that did take a lot out of it last start as well. And it is a young horse up against some of these quality horses. I think it's a genuine chance. I think it's probably around its mark, maybe 1 or 2 points shorter than it should be.
I think the price is fair. I would say I think the price is fair.
I think it's a good
Fair
chance. It won't be my on topper, but I think I wouldn't turn anyone off it. This is just a step up in grade, and as you said, maybe the first 2 races that it won hasn't beat it quality food, but I thought it beat him pretty easy and round him up pretty easy. And then I thought it was home and hosed last start, and just got nabbed with not as much luck, or probably where it would want to be sitting, 1 out, 1 back. I think if it gets a little bit of cover there, it probably beats them quite comfortably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I'm like you. I think they've thrown the Coolmore away here, and they've done that for the sake of putting Karen McAvoy on board. It's a go forward horse, and he's going to sit on speed, but I'm not sure how much vigour Karen is going to have. And I think there's actually a slight possibility that he gets posted the 3 wide and doesn't have it anywhere to go.
He has to make it. I mean, he has won 3 Everests, so
he has, but Red Zell in a bog doesn't really count, does it?
Yeah, they were.
So what are we saying the pace is? Lady Camelot's going to lose.
Racing New South Wales, for reference, he's got Lady Camelot and Stormboy going over. Whether Stormboy does muster or not, we'll see. But Growing Empire and IME sitting behind, and Private Eye kind of trying to push forward in that 3 wide line. So
I had Stormboy, I had Growing Empire OSL outside lead.
Yep.
Yes.
Stormboy. The problem is Stormboy, which we get to, is he misses a start.
Yes.
There's a chance he's out of play
Straight up.
200 metres in.
Yep.
Lady of Camelot 1-1, IME leaders back, Traffic Warden 2 back sort of thing.
Yep.
I had Bella pushing a bit further forward.
Yeah, I don't think any horse facing the breeze here can win.
Yeah, and that's where track and conditions are going to be very important to know kind of who does end up with the best race shape. But I'm not with Growing Empire. I think the $758, I think it's a double-digit chance, just based on, like you said, the Moonee Valley run probably should have done better. Yeah, it got lost a little bit, but he was just hanging in there in that last little bit. Gets Karen McAvoy.
Was heavily back there, though.
He was heavily backed, and as someone that was on Southport Tycoon, I was very happy. But, yeah, look, I can't entertain him here, but through no shortage of talent.
We can't all be rich, John. The 10 is Traffic Warden for the Godolphin. Drawn gate 2, Jamie Carr, placed in the Golden Rose, won the Run to the Rose, won the Size Produce. Pretty much similar thoughts to what I said about IME for me. I think just gets a lovely run. The form stacked up with a Node coming out of the Golden Rose and winning last week. Fell in, but won. Switzerland come out of that race. I know he had issues and won. Broadsiding, J-Mac whinged about the track, but ran well enough. Did what broadsiding does. Could still win a Cox Plate. I think it's absolute life chance. Broadsiding.
Broadsiding.
Bog track it pisses in.
But
It needs it. Otherwise, I agree.
Could be overrated.
In his track work, he's still running on his Sydney leg. So whether that means anything.
Let's talk about the Cox Plate next week, right. And let's talk about Traffic Warden here. Absolute life chance, almost top pick.
Yeah, if Sunshine in Paris is my 1A, Traffic Warden is my 1B. I love him. I think just as a horse following him from the 2-year-olds, he was one that I was really keen to follow and see what they do with him more than anything. Because being a Street Boss colt, I mean, he could easily go to a Guineas path and run up to 2,000 metres, but they've kept him to the 1,200, and I think that's the right choice. He's going to be sucked into a high pressure 1,200 coming off a really quality 1,400 metre race. Jamie Carr on board, barrier 2. There is a slight chance. Racing New South Wales kind of did what I had a fear of is he gets stuck 3 back the fence, and he's going to have a lot of rump stake in front of him. But I'm going to trust that James Cummings is going to tell her, under no condition do you take that suck into the fence. Keep him out there. Try and jump with IME, because Traffic Warner can jump barrier. So I don't think that's much of an issue. And, I'm really keen. I'm really high on the horse, and we'll see how he goes.
And I'll get you to say, well, that's where Nash holds it, because Nash is so good at just going, if I go here, I've got you, you, and you.
Yes.
And then you're out of play, and it's whoever's behind, and that's where he could bully him. But what do you think about Traffic Warden?
Absolute live chance as well. Look, it's flying at the moment. Love that it's third up here. Both runs have been perfect. You're right. 14 back to the 1200 at Randwick up the rise there. That's going to be a good setup for it. It is a bit of a worry where it could get stuck. If it gets stuck on the fence there and is behind potentially a Storm Boy or a IME, but it could get a suck through there.
In my head, I had IME going here and it going there, and then it's going where sweet.
Yeah,
everyone else can worry about it.
And that's kind of where I think if Stormboy jumps, it's such a benefit to both of those, because he's going to come across and actually going to go sweet.
Yeah,
I'll get this little.
Because there's a chance if it doesn't, and there's no intent from Camelot, IME finds itself
100%.
Nash will sit, but Nash will just sit there and go, okay, well, one of you is either going to lead, or I'm just going to sit here and Nash is all.
Yep.
Yes.
So I say Nash a lot.
Yeah.
So anything else?
Nothing new. No, but I think it's a really good chance, and certainly in the top few picks here.
Well, we've mentioned Stormboy. He's number 11 for the Coolmore team. They've gone with him over Switzerland. They've got the gun, Brenton Avdallah, back to ride him. He's got Gate 5. He won the Skyline. He won the San Domenico. He won the Magic Millions. It's almost... I don't really have any interest in him, but
no.
He sets up the race, because if he steps away slow, everything goes out the window a little bit. And that's the other concern. If I was Coolmore, I would have gone with Switzerland.
Me too.
But I imagine Waller's just said we've got a Coolmore to win in a Coolmore up the straight in 3 weeks. We'll win that and be off to stud. But map to lead at its absolute best, possibly can. Reigns maybe okay, but it's all just ifs and buts. It's beaten up a lot of stuff along the way, and none of that early 2-year-old form's really stacked up. What price is it?
$12.
$12 seems unders to me.
Unders to me as well.
Yeah,
can't get keen here. I think it's flattered probably first up, fresh, and the next 2 runs haven't been that great. Mate, it'll finish in the back half here.
Yeah, hard to entertain at the price. I'm trying to give him something, but you just can't, because
it's Gay. The fact that Gay can sprinkle some fairy dust on a colt. And
literally,
who knows, is it?
That's it. What I do think is they've thrown a Caulfield Guineas away, and they'd be kicking themselves after watching Private Life win that, and they've gone, well, shit, now we've got to try and win at Everest, and yeah, I don't see how. Even if he gets the perfect recipe, if he jumps clean, gets to the front, he's going to... Maybe the Great Wall of Gay sets it up for him at the front, but they've got to hold off some very good horses, and I don't think he can.
Number 12 is Lady of Camelot, also for Gay, and as you said, the Gate Wall of Gay, she's Go Bloodstock, Gate 11, Rachel King, won the Golden Slipper, hasn't done a lot since, was okay, that first up run in the Valley, trial since was okay. It's here to be Stormboy's little tugboat, isn't it? Like, we'll flop over and keep it covered for a little bit, sit outside lead, and I couldn't imagine her taking the lead up. In my head, either Stormboy led and it sat actually further back one behind Growing Empire, or it sat outside lead if Growing Empire didn't want it. That was about it. Don't know if she's going. I can't. There's nothing here I can say. Yes, he's still win at Everest essentially.
Look, if you're trying to make an excuse at the price,
it is 50s. So
it is 50s, and she probably had some excuses her last run. It does look like they were setting her up for this race, but apart from that, very hard to entertain.
Yeah, I think. No.
50s is unders.
Okay, fair enough. Is there anything out of the emergencies? They're not allowed to scratch from the other race either. Overpass, think about it. Southport to Mars. I didn't factor them into this.
No.
I've got a question.
If anyone got a run, would it interest you?
If, for instance, a horse gets scratched, they've got Overpass 13, but do the slot holders get to pick? Okay, cool. Yeah,
because it happened. It happened in the last couple of years.
Was it Osborne Bulls?
Possibly, yeah. And they picked Godolphin, put the other Godolphin horse in.
Kementari?
Possibly,
yeah.
And they could have gone and got the Pirata or someone that
Yes.
would have pissed in.
Yeah, okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Or,
Look, out
I
of
can't remember
those,
the names, it was something like that.
I mean, out of those, you can kind of make a bit of a case for all of them. I can make a case for all of them more than Lady Camelot, put it that way.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Marzu's going pretty well. I think he's a good chance in the later race. Southport's Tycoon, I owe him a lot of money after his last start. Think about it. I think he only weighs up and overpass. I think he'll
It
just.
is for think about it because it's going that bad. It's
Yeah,
it's in the Giga Kick camp, mate.
Yeah, well, it could be. I think he's got a little bit more upside, but then you got also Overpass who can jump and run, even though his rambling form's
100%.
not great. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
Overpass would interest me if it's here, but it spends its life at Perth, which happy days. It's won $8 million or something.
Yeah.
Final. Oh, you've got the speed map. Just quickly give us a rundown and give us your final thoughts, Johnny.
Yeah, so Racing New South Wales, they've got Stormboy, Lady Camelot going forward. IME, Growing Empire sitting a pair back. Traffic Warden, Giga Kick sitting behind those. And then you've got kind of those ones that'll appreciate the pace behind it of Jolly Star, Sunshine in Paris, Wish Win, Steffi and Bella. So it's kind of a race in two. And then you've got Private Eye just kind of floating around doing God knows what J Forward's going to decide to do. Yeah, look, I think it sets up really well for Sunshine in Paris. Like I said, it's not probably the best Everest, but it's the most interesting, I reckon. Yeah, and it all depends probably weirdly on how Stormboy jumps. So, look, I'm going to assume that he gets to the front. I'm going to assume that Nash sits in behind him, and I'm going to assume that Traffic Warden gets a lovely run just behind. So I've got Sunshine in Paris on top. I've got Traffic Warden just a notch below him, and then you're looking for horses like Bella Nipotina, I Wish I Win, to fill in the place getters, and Jolly Star, of course.
Beaver, final word on the Everest.
Yeah. Good summation there. I'm going to stick with Bella Nipotina. It's a horse of mine. I think the better chances are going to be in the back half
flashes,
of the
yeah.
field and coming down the middle. And I think I'm going to be cheering somewhere down the straight to Bella Nipotina to wind up and charge home. And I think it'll be finished within a length or so of the winners. So I've got it on top. I think it will come with I Wish I Win down the middle of the track, and I think the one of those two that finish the best will be winning the race. And then my main dangers are Steffi, Magnetica, and Traffic Warden. I think are the top four for me if you're having a first four.
I fall in love with the sniper shots here. The track probably might not suit him, and I can flip these four. I'm going to tip IME on top, suck run again, to have that first shot behind Stormboy. One of the sort of races where the other four will flash home out wide and everyone goes, whoa, that should have won, that should have won, that should have won. From Traffic Warden, same, gets the 1-1. I think will be in the finish. I Wish I Win, I think it's going fine, and I'm going to treat this as grand final, forget the rest, and Private Eye is the knockout. Or the one for your first fours. If it's massive down the outside, I can see myself flipping to those two outside gates, Bella and I Wish I Win. But tremendous race, a much more interesting race than you first think on paper.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do next is get through the rest of the card. We're going to have a quick break. We're going to put this up on YouTube at its own show. Thank you everyone that's checked it out. Subscribe. We do this for free every week, sometimes twice a week. And you'll find this. I think we'll do another one for Melbourne Cup. I enjoyed it. Do Melbourne Cup. Do you want me to Cox Plate next week?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Excuse to come out.
Doing it anyway.
We'll do it anyway. So we'll do the same. Oh, tell us below if you couldn't give a shit and just want to watch the proper preview. I won't. But we'll be back soon to talk about the rest of the card, as well as there's a Caulfield Cup happening on Saturday. So we'll talk about that as well. Take care, guys. We'll talk soon.